Oh,
That's more like it.
yes, it is. So how are you, my friend Andy?
Andy W.
Andy W. We are
I'm doing,
here.
I'm doing
Hello,
great, thank
friends.
you. Doing
That
great, Barbie. How are you?
I'm great. I'm
Still
Barbie.
hanging in there. Still hanging in there.
I am hanging in there. So hello, friends. Good evening. How is everyone doing now that we are kind of trying to get out a little bit, and trying to be social again? I'm not sure how that's going in every single region of the world, but here in California, we are definitely trying to do our very best. And there's some walls that do come up every once in a while, but nonetheless, I'm excited. We are excited to connect with you once again today, and we just want to welcome you to the Influencer Show. For those who do not know me, my name is Barbie Latavisi, and I am your family law mediator and relationship coach, and I am here, I'm not sure which side it is, alongside Mr. Andy W. Shepherd, who is also a relationship coach. We come to you live every single Wednesday at 6 o'clock, and we try to be as close as possible to 6 o'clock, but sometimes we have technical difficulties. But we are both here in sunny California, and if you're here tuning in, we would love to get a like from you. It helps the algorithm let everyone know out there that we are here to share our wonderful message that we think through to deliver to you, and we just want to be out there letting people know to jump on in and to leave, if you feel compelled to leave a comment, to have a question, to interact with us, please don't hesitate to do so. I mean, we're here for obvious reasons, but also if you happen to hear anything during the course of our conversation that maybe someone needs to hear, please tag them. We have thought very carefully about what we're wanting to deliver to you. And so yes, this is what we do every Wednesday at 6 o'clock here on this page. So I thought it'd be interesting to talk a lot about this. We got quite the response after, not necessarily in this particular page, but elsewhere. And one thing that is very common here is that, we all desire to feel alive in relationships. So guys, if you really want to have her fully engaged, with her passion and energy, and, the very first thing that you must do is to actualize what her basic needs are. And I'm not trying to side here with anyone in particular, just want to preface that, but I'm trying to bring you value, just little things that perhaps you may need to hear. And the one thing that I want you to understand is when you're able to meet her needs, you will help her flourish into her true self. And would that not be the most beautiful thing? And you get a woman that's not all irate, all upset, not in her masculine, you want her ultimately to be in her feminine state. So if you do these little simple things that we're going to talk about, which are keys, her beautiful feminine energy will radiate and your relationship will grow exponentially. And I mean, rather rapidly. So just food for thought. And we thought we'd kind of go back and forth and talk about a little bit about a few little key points. And it's, I guess in my very first one, I've got to think, I think it's 9 of them. And I utilize this in one of my courses, but thought I'd share it with you. And one is, let her talk her feelings out to you. Do not clamp up, oh, here we go again, get that attitude. But be present for her when she wants you, when she needs to hear a sense of validation. What do you think, Andy?
No, totally agree. Totally agree. I mean, doing what you're saying is really so important for guys to do, because guys secretly, if we're truly in love with our woman, our lady, then we want her to be happy. And when we do something right and she starts being happy, it gives us such a deep feeling of fulfillment, and this is an opportunity not to be missed. So Barbie is going crazy here. She's going to tell you guys all of the secrets. I hope the girls are not going to gang up on her and say, hey, come on, see, there's a code here with us, ladies. You cannot tell the secret, you know, of anything. And rule 2, because I read these rules when I was in my 20s. Rule 1, there are no secrets. Number 2, if the rule, sorry, there are no rules. Number 2, if the rules are found, they will change at any point. And things like this. So, you know, if you're telling these secrets, it's big stuff. So, gentlemen, please take advantage of this.
I just thought we'd share some pointers, you know, from my perspective, and having been exposed to many women in my lifetime, you know, and hearing their side of the fence, if you will, you know, I find that with them, they want their feelings to be validated, that she does exist, you know, that she wants to feel heard and mostly understood. So there's no contention. It's almost like, let's put it down in writing so it is clear and concise and you understand me. And likewise, you can, it's really kind of a strange thing, but this is how women are. It's very different than men. And by the way, if you're tuning in, at the top of the hour at 7 o'clock Pacific time, I am doing the flip side of this to cater to the men. So if you want to hop on there, I'll quickly put the link. And Andy, you're also invited. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to do a little bit of both, you know. So I just don't want to be sided just only to the ladies, but it's really good to get a men's perspective as well. So
what you're saying about the about this, letting your lady to speak it out, is really important, because the biggest mistake that us Martians make is that we're here to fix stuff. That's our job. We're problem solvers. So when we're hearing our lady, we just want to protect her. We want her to be doing really well. So automatically we're thinking, hey, how can I fix this? How can we fix this? And it's disastrous. And all the time I'm having to think, okay, I you know, if I've done a day of coaching and then the wife comes and she gives me, you know, all sorts of things, I'm trying to fix it. And I'm like going, shut up, listen to her. She needs to express her feelings. And a woman needs to do this. She needs to let her feelings out. It's so important.
You're so right about that. You know, men, that's just how they're wired, hardwired to solve the problems. But instead of trying to solve that problem, he's right, Andy's right. Just focus on being there for her and listening. That is all she wants, you know? And then they just want to have that sense of, they want the need to be understood. That's really what it boils down to. Women need a reason to make love. And this is going to be a hot topic too. This is something I thought. Men, no offense, guys, men's need, it's so different. It's just, they just want to find a place. So women are really super sensitive to context, you know, her surrounding conditions. And when she is not understood, we know she's just going to clamp up, which results in her being less feminine and obviously more masculine. I know it's funny, huh? But it's the truth. So I know that there are women here listening, and I know that they have felt like what I've just expressed, you know, and I know I know you have, and this is when you elect to bring out the masculine energy. Hey, I know it all too well because I myself have done it, and when a woman is able to relax, she feels really, it's just really magical. She's really understood, and this is what causes her to just open up, you know, and as a result, then you create which is the ultimate goal, a closer bond. So it's really simple. You know, she requires this type of connection just to fully engage, and above all things, I think, is trust. This allows her to trust you. So, gentlemen, trust is really necessary for intimacy. Would you agree, Mr. Andy W?
For sure, for sure. I mean, some guys, you know, especially the non-typical, the metrosexual guys like myself, it's like I need to feel trust with my lady, otherwise there's no way that I can, you know, be with her. I think my friends are maybe not so concerned about this and they're thinking about other stuff, but for me personally it's important. But definitely for women, 100%, they cannot give themselves to a man unless they feel trust. Has been my experience. I've
It
always
just makes
noticed
the
the trust.
experience much richer in
Mhm.
totality, you know. And the other top little thing that I wanted to discuss was express to her what you appreciate about her. If you think that she's a good mom, express that. If you think that she's a great cook, express that. If she is one that is really neat and tidy in the home, express that. That makes her feel loved and validated and acknowledged above all things. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. I think that should go for everybody. I mean, definitely in a relationship, but I think we can do that in other circumstances. When I had my English language school in Brazil, I made a point of complimenting people. I realized this was so important, but it's the way that you do it. You know, you've got to make it so that they're not going to be embarrassed about it if you're saying it in public. And so I got to choose when I'm going to say it in public, who to, or say it privately, or whatever. Some will want to know and hear everybody listen and hear it, and so you need to do it in public. Would you say the same with women as well? Would you say that maybe there's a time when you should compliment her in public for certain women, certain situations, and that will light her up, or is it always private? What do you think, Barbie?
You know what? I think we need to assess the personality. I think
Exactly.
those things will be expressed. You know, we all have different ways that we process things, clearly. So if
Yeah.
you've got someone that's very vocal and very expressive, kind of sort of like I am, but then I like my downtime where I just tune out, you know, maybe that's an ideal time to communicate where it's more intimate in nature. Um, does that answer that your
Yeah,
question?
that's great. Yeah.
Okay. And then, you know, we were talking about earlier about romanticizing, kind of, we briefly touched on it. But guys, you know, I know you love your football and I know you love to watch TV, but can we do away with the electronics in the room at nighttime? Really? Hello, this, are you still there? Am I still live or is it just too quiet? I can't hear anything.
The funny thing is, I have the same issue with my wife. She's a soccer fan, and she avidly watches every single game that exists, pretty much. And so I let her do this because I know she needs, it's her way of relaxing. But there's times I'm sitting there and I'll watch it without the sound and try and join in. But there's times I'm just like going, "Hello, I'm here. I've not seen you all day." You know, the irony is, I didn't as a younger, I stopped watching football because I realized women didn't like it. And my karma is that I'm with somebody who, you know, a woman who loves football. So it's all, I don't know what happened there. The universe kind of went kind of out of skew or something. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
think
agree.
we can do everything in moderation, Andy. I mean, if she likes soccer, then you know everything in moderation. You know, or maybe hey, we've got these DVRs nowadays that we can record and later watch. You know, in our downtime. So there's so many solutions to everything out there. So there's no excuses whatsoever. You know, just pay attention to the things that also go unnoticed. You know, may it be, I don't know, can you think of anything specific? I can, but I just want you, what's something that may go unnoticed sometimes? Maybe her hair gets parted one way one day, and then the next,
Right.
you know, center, you know, these kind of crazy little
Yeah.
things.
You guys, you've got to notice if your lady has done something different with her hair, with her makeup, she's wearing something different. You don't notice, she's going to say, "How do I look?" And you don't notice, you're a goner. You're a goner.
Exactly. And her whoopee juice, as I like to refer to the perfume,
Right.
oh, that scent is marvelous, or just there's something different that you notice. Just point it out because there's obviously a reason why she's doing it.
Yeah.
A haircut, as we talked about. So moving forward, I thought that we talk about a second need that the ladies have, and that is they need to be seen. We know men love their ladies, but does she feel seen? Think about it. Gentlemen, your presence is a gift to her. Look her in the eyes when you speak. Don't look down. Don't look up. Don't look everywhere else. look directly to her and notice all the details. Give her a genuine compliment, like we were talking earlier. That is positive, and it can be about her habits or just simply her behavior, her demeanor towards you. And something that I always think about is be decisive. Who does not like someone that can make a decision ASAP? Andy? The ladies may be a little shy to making some decisions sometimes just because they want to be appeasing to you. But I think deep down, guys, they like a guy that can make decisions. Someone that can take that ball and run with it. Andy, what kind of guy are you? Do you make the quick decisions or not? Oh, I'm calling you out. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It depends on each relationship. With my wife, she's very, very indecisive about a lot of stuff, and I've just got used to it, and I just know how to deal with it. But it kind of sometimes it can drive me up the wall, and I've just got to be very patient. Specifically with food, it can sometimes take her a while to decide what she wants, and so I've got to be really kind of, go through a kind of a game of how to find the food that she wants and be careful. She'll maybe give me a little few breadcrumbs, and I've got to kind of do a Sherlock Holmes on which direction she's going in. If I make a suggestion of what food she wants, wrong. No, she has to choose the food, and it's just the way that it is. You know.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that. I don't know if it's just a woman thing. Now, in other things, oh, I am like faster than lightning. I can just make decisions. And I think it's deep down because women sometimes they just want to be complacent. It's like, they know that men love their food. So, oh, whatever you want, whatever you like, I'm fine with it. So it all really goes back to discerning what kind of personality you're dealing with on the other side, and you
Yeah.
got to kind of have to gauge for yourself. And yeah, so decisive it's a good attribute to have for you, gentlemen, and show her that she is your priority. I think about work. Sometimes men just still come home and bring all of that stress in from work, or it could be vice versa, whoever is working, or maybe you both are working, some downtime. But she really wants to feel like she comes in numero uno above all other women in your life. And let me be very specific. This is a good one. We know, gentlemen, that you love your mothers. We know it. We as mothers want to feel love, so we resonate really well. But I think when you're in a relationship, it's really important that you make the woman feel special. Kind of like just let her know that she's your number one. That if mom were to call, that you can allow that phone to sit on the side until you finish whatever you're doing with your lady. And that also applies to your sisters, your favorite calling female friend, or whatever that may be. Essentially, just make her feel that she's your number one priority, and they just want to feel like she's your rock. She is everything about, you are her world, so to speak. So be dependable and reliable. And really, bottom line is, all women want to be taken care of. Yeah, that's just my feedback. Everybody's perspective may be different, but this is what I call food for thought. Andy,
Yeah,
are you still there?
you got a good point here. I remember dating a lady in Brazil, and she had got three boys, and they were kind of teenagers, and they're big guys, and her priority was with her husband and her three boys, and then me. And she really, really hammered it home that that's the way it was. And I really felt when it was my turn, then great. She put all the everything onto me, but she really didn't deal with it very well, and I did not feel special. And throughout our 2 years of dating, I could really feel the disconnect from her. And being brought up with my mum, I'm kind of more sensitive, so it really was an issue for me. So yeah, I
Yeah,
can
I
relate.
think we need to know. I understand what you're saying because it becomes hard. Children in a way are priority because they don't have the maturity to understand
Yeah,
that they that you will return back to them.
yeah,
They want it now, and it's now, or I'm gonna throw a fit kind of thing. So I guess what I would counsel a gentleman is to really discern for themselves whether they wish to be with someone who have children, because essentially you're adopting a family, or if you're considering being with this particular lady that we kind of are a little bit enamored with. And that's really important because it becomes an instantaneous family. It's fun. Perhaps you may have longed to have children, and maybe this is your one opportunity. As a single mom, I know where my priorities are and where do I need to build that space? And although it's very difficult, it's also very possible, because I have done it. So, all right, so
yeah.
we can go for this
Well, I
forever.
think no, just quickly, I could see, that her children are a priority. I got that. But then when it was the husband who was above me, it was like she could have dealt with it better. And the boys coming in at 1:30 in the morning in the bedroom and waking us both up because they needed money for Coca-Cola because they were thirsty. It's like I kind of found that a little bit annoying, but again, it was just because she didn't deal with it well. She could have been nicer about it. It was like, if my son wants to wake me up at 1:30, then that's the way it is. And if you have a problem with it, that's your problem. But anyway, there you go.
No, what, Andy, Andy W. So I'm teasing you. What I think it's really important here when you stumble upon these unfortunate circumstances, maybe perhaps you need to articulate your boundaries, set them, because when those are set, everyone understands what it is. Like, for instance, my daughter knows that I do a live at a specific time. So she knows that she can't just come into my office and start doing whatever she typically does, which is most of the time is Roblox. She loves that Roblox. I don't know if you know what that is. So I have to set limitations there as well. But yeah, so it's really ultimately it's a juggle. You got to figure out if you really want to date someone with children or not, and that's a topic all on its own. So
Yeah, that's a good topic. That's a good
yeah,
topic sometime. I think people
maybe
need
something that we can consider moving forward.
Yeah.
So I thought about a third need, which ladies here definitely understand about their desire to feel safe. I do not know of one, including my child. If I am with someone, I want to feel saved, and so does my child. That's just what it is. Women want to feel safe, guys. So women, biologically, they're just hardwired to feel like they need protection, and men and women are physically not equal. And this is this is a history. It's differences that play within each of us that causes one's behavior to be more controlling over a situation. And I'm not saying anyone needs to tolerate unfavorable behavior. We can try to understand by being loving and appreciating what she goes through. Your job as a man is to discover what those are, because every woman has their own definition of what unsafe is. Can you think of anything? I've got an idea, but I want to hear from you, Andy.
Well, I mean, I agree with the protection business. It's like sometimes she'll come up with something that, like maybe a manager or a boss has done, and I don't find it favorable. And I want to go in there and have a conversation and say, "Hey, what are you doing to my lady? You know, you can't talk to her like this." And I have to calm down. I have to, but my instinct is to go there and defend her. And it's like, nobody should be treating her like that. And it's really challenging to deal with. And I always ask for her permission. It's like, look, if you need me, I will go there. And I am a good communicator. Inside I can be very, very angry, but I will say what is necessary for my point to get over in a non-violent way, in a way which is going to get change in that person, because that's the outcome I'm looking for. I'm not looking for confrontation. So just let me know.
Yeah, that's a tough situation to kind of intervene in the middle of something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she, no, I'm not speaking, this is an example that kind of came to mind is a woman may be the type that feels unsafe over little minute things. It could be a spider, whatever it may be. And your
Yeah.
job should be to be understanding and not ridicule her, just have some level of compassion, because as you get to grow in the relationship, you get to know these little things, which are kind of comical and you can kind of kid each other over, which I think is just kind of a cute little thing. But we have to be really sensitive to those things it could be an encounter that she may have had with another man that caused her to be repelled by it. There's just so many different things, so many different case scenarios. And, I think about the flip side, if a man is insecure, is usually due to some traumatic event. You stop and think about it, that occurred earlier in his life. And that causes him today to be insecure about the one he cares most about. I've experienced that, and it really drives. I know it drove me insanely crazy, because I'm just one of these people that are just so incredibly honorable in my commitment, and but I understood, so I still supported it, if you will, knowing that there was an issue. So if you were this man, similar like this, how would you prefer to be validated as a man? Just something for you to think about. How about this, or how long would you be willing to deal with it before you decide? I'm just trying to get you to feel how a woman wants to feel. That's really essentially it. So, any last thoughts, Andy? We kind of went over, but we're just like a lot of stuff.
It's a big subject, this. I mean, there's so many areas that we could have gone into, so many secrets that are, and things that we need to know about women, and women need to know about men. But at the end of the day, after all that we've said on this, it's like, put this into practice, everybody, as much as you can. But remember, as I'm always saying, it's about teamwork. At the end of our wedding, I wanted to go team shepherd and go like this, as right at the end of the ceremony, because this is the most important thing. We're a team, and you need to look at it like that. And teamwork is to be able to support each other's strengths and weaknesses, and that's what it's all about. And if you're looking at the other person and expecting perfection, then I'm sorry, but it's not going to happen. And it's the love that you've got between you is what the energy which is going to and the fuel to be able to deal with each other, to support, to nurture, to love, and do the best that you can with what you've got, as it were. And that goes both ways, because we're not perfect either.
We're not. There's no way. So, I just ultimately, what we're trying to instill or to share with you is when a lady feels truly safe, she's really able to open up. And that's kind of like the gift to you. And she connects, and it is then when she's able to dive into that passion that you truly, truly, ultimately want, gentlemen. And I know just how important this is to you. So, by the way, you're welcome for all these little tips. So, in closing, if you happen to know anyone that could benefit from what we've shared here, these little golden nuggets, please share it with them. You know, it's all good, and I encourage you. You know, I offer a 30-minute free consultation where I will ask you specific questions to determine if we're a good fit for me assisting you, and Andy does the same. And for me personally, I'll have Andy tell you where you can connect with him, but you can find me on Messenger. I just write me, share your thoughts. And if you have any interesting topics too, I welcome those. You know, I'm always looking for good content to deliver to you with my different spin and perspective. And I have courses in the Mastermind Marketplace, and soon I will unveil after I get through a project that I'm doing where you can easily, super easily locate me. But Andy, do you want to share how they can connect with you?
Yeah, connect with me here on Facebook is a good place. I'm building a whole load of new stuff at the moment, so it's just putting that together. So that's for this time, then that's the best way.
Okay, and as always, I like to say happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. And that's happy birthday, friends. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. You guys, thank you so much for always tuning in and giving us your support. We will be here next Wednesday, same time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And as I always like to say, we'll see you on the bright side. And look who's here. She came here. How do you know this is Bubby? Mwah. She knows this. This is the truth. But until then, we will see you guys on the bright side next Wednesday. Please, please feel free to reach out. It's always a pleasure to have you join us, and we certainly appreciate your friendship. So say bye, Bubby. Okay, guys. Have a great evening. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Sweetie. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes, Bubby. Bye-bye. Mwah.